Yeah.
I'm Melinda Cowell, and it's my second year as president for North Central, and it's been a very good year. I've quite enjoyed it. So, before we get going, I'd like to go around and everybody introduce their farm and themselves. And I will hold off as long as I can. You have to excuse my voice. I was terribly sick, so I'm going to be talking. You guys want to start? Can we start down here? Do you mind? Okay. Yeah. The microphone.
No.
Okay.
Becky Adams and Junior Feedy, and we have Little Creek Highlands just about an hour north of here. Osseo and Gilmanton. We've got 17 head, mostly bull calves that were born, so a lot of males right now, but yep.
Yes, I'm going to go kind of John's turn.
John and approximately women required, and some should say with conflict. We have, well, she won't tell me exactly how many we have. Right? Something. We have some.
Yes, I'm
He and my wife, other elk people, we're on a farm called Tibetan. It's about an hour south of here. It's a family farm, it's been in the families for like 1854, so it's been for a long time, so generation. And we got almost 120 cows.
Yes, please.
I'm Jan Larson. We have head acres, my son and I. He has cattle over in Michigan. We got about a dozen registered head, and we've been around here a while.
Mark and Jamie Schultz from Flatline Farm in Elkton, Minnesota, so about 2 hours to the west of here. We started in 07, and we've got about over 30 head right now. Jacob Larson, actually speaking a little later, so I'll give you a more thorough introduction and background, but I live in Tennessee as of last spring. I actually grew up in Washington State and I've lived most of my life in the West, but now I'm in Tennessee, so yeah, we'll talk a little bit more later.
How many is that?
10.
Michelle and Tony Letourneau, and we live in Minnesota, kind of between Minneapolis and Duluth, right in the middle there. And we are relatively new to Highlands, but we're up to 11.
Go ahead.
Well, Melinda and myself, Sean, we have Beyond Hope Farm in Ellendale, Minnesota. And what do we have, like maybe 7 head of right now? So
Here, my Muse, and then my son Patrick. We have Gypsy Ridge Farms. We're up in Turtle Lake, Wisconsin. Arden McMartin, have a small herd in Irvington, Wisconsin, which is near Menominee, about an hour and a half west of here. Then my friend Barb has.
My name is Brother Jesse and Green of the farm. We're Hidden Ridge Highland Cattle. We do the Wisconsin Farm Technology Days. 4-H. And we're in Louisville, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Aldrin. This is my wife Terry. We're relatively new to Omaha Highland. I think we've had a year or two, maybe 2 years at this point. So we only have, I think, 3 registered head right now. We got a couple of unregistered just hanging out, 2. So, new to all this stuff. We're Jack Pine Cattle. We're in Mackinac, Minnesota.
Jane and Rich Winter, we used to have 40 acres down in Burlington. 2 years ago, we had to sell out our fold, and I sold 37 breeding stock.
Add into the green, we are 30 minutes from here. So, and we started with Highlands in 2020, Mid Lakes Highlands. We have 8 head with the baby calf that was born this year.
Fran and Gail Wilkinson from Richmond Center, Wisconsin, North Buckeye Farm. And this is our son and our daughter-in-law. And we have about 26 head right now. We started in 2015. When we looked at 40 acres. We went out to their farm and looked at their stock, and we were really impressed. We didn't know anything about Highlands. I mean, nothing, but we have good stock and we're happy with them, and that's it.
Chris Broderick, my wife Tina, and our daughter Charlie. We've been around most of you for about 7, 8 years now. We've had our own cattle for 5, 6 years. About 2 years ago, we bought a new retired dairy farm in Oconto, Wisconsin. It's about 3 hours from here, just north of Green Bay. And I think right now we're at 12, 13 head. 12. The Highlands, and when we get a few other critters.
Sharp, my husband Ben, and we are Rosewood Ranch. We live up in Deer River, Minnesota, which is the northern part of the state. And our kids all farm with us too. I'm Randy Johnson. This is my husband Mark. We have Climbing Stump Farm in Harris, Minnesota. We've had Highlands that are first in 2013, and we're up now to about 50.
Right, so I'm Paul Hartwig, and this is my daughter Jordan. We're Portland Creek Highlands. We started in 2020, December 2020, we got our first one, and we have 9 now, so.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me here today. So anything I need to let people know, Randy or Sharon? It's his name. Before we start the meeting? No? Okay. You need something or questions? Almost anybody can answer your questions today. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. I need your help, Randy. So I need a motion to call to order or not. No. Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order, and I think we have a quorum. And the proof of notice of meeting was put into the pipes. That's all been covered. If you want, did you all get the packets that have the 2024 meeting minutes in them? Does anybody need one? Nope. I'd like to approve the 2024 minutes if no one has questions. We have
I'll approve the minutes.
I know.
Mark moved to approve the minutes. Jan, did you speak? Maureen. Oh, Maureen moved to second. Okay. Officer reports. I'm the president. So, this year we had a really great year. All-female board, which is really kind of fun. Those ladies rock and roll. If you said, hey, let's get this done, we were on top of it. It was fun, and I was just so pleased with how things went. Lots of good improvements and changes to various things. A lot of kind of updating our policies and things to make things run more smoothly. So that was very exciting. I enjoyed being on the board. I enjoyed being president and working with those ladies, and so really like to say about that. Randy, do you want to give the secretary's report?
I'm Randy Johnson. I'm secretary of the North Central Highland Cattle Association. I report every year on membership. This year we were up to 195 members, which I think is the biggest the association has ever been. That was a 13% increase over the prior year. Most of our farms are in Minnesota and Wisconsin, but we had a big growth in Iowa, and we've got members from all over the country. This year we had 7 farms that sponsored new members. I'd like to recognize those: Beyond Hope Farm, Boulder Meadows, 40 Acres, Flatland Farms, Hidden Ridge Highland Cattle, River City Highlands. I guess that's 6. Sorry, can't count. You should all know that as members, you can sponsor new members to our association for half price for their first year. And we encourage you to think about doing that if you're selling animals to new farms, new to the area, new to the association, new to Highlands, because this association provides a wealth of information and networking. So we hope you'll consider doing that. This year, our renewals are coming in at a better pace than they ever have. We already have 150 so far signed up, and I will be sending out nasty little pesky reminders to those of you that haven't. You can renew online, or I have forms here if you wanted to fill out something here and get your renewal done. I can't tell looking at you who are the ones that still old. But I could look it up. That you will get now in the course of this meeting are reports from all of our committees, and the committees that we have do all of the work for the association. When I'm done here, I'm going to pass around little sheets where people can sign up. We're always looking for new volunteers and help. You can sign up here. You also can sign up when you renew your membership if you haven't renewed already. But so we hope that you'll think about, as you listen to the various committee reports, you'll think about what you might be able to contribute and sign up. Thank you.
And the microphone for Julianne.
Hey, can you guys hear me all right?
I want to turn the mic on. Give me a second here.
Okay.
Julianne, do a test.
Test, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yes, everyone can hear it.
Okay, great. I am Julianne with Midway Meadows in Esco, Minnesota. And this is my second year giving the treasurer's report. I think my husband Jason bought his first Highlands around 10 years ago, and right now we're at about 30 registered head. So in 2024, we had a very solid year. We tried some new and different things. We were truly a nonprofit last year, but because of the success of past sales, we still carry a very healthy balance. Of north of $50,000. I think, highlights include, we got all of the hoofbeats out. The calendar was fantastic. We had a great annual meeting last year. We did a new type of sale last year, a frozen sale. The sales were about break even. We combined a live sale with the show in the fall in Austin, Minnesota. That was a ton of fun. And the juniors had an outstanding year. People continue to be extremely generous with the juniors. So they have a healthy balance. They should be able to do some really fun and interesting things this year. And the show had about a break even as well. So I think the numbers are before you. I'll entertain any questions. You'll also see the plan for 2025 is very similar to 2024. No big changes or radical moves. So any questions?
I don't see any here.
All right, fantastic. Well, thanks everybody.
Thanks, Julianne. So the committee reports, Janet, do you want to do the report? I don't know.
Everybody, can y'all hear me? So, I'm the ACA representative for the North Central region. So my job is to be a liaison between North Central and the national organization ACA. I'm guessing everybody knows what that is. I'm hoping they do. If you don't, holler at me. Our membership in ACA has gone up from about 900 people to 2,000 people approximately just over the past year. So the front desk has been working really hard to keep up with everything. And average membership length of time is usually about 4.5 years. Finances have been very solid. And thanks to a very conservative finance committee, they're going to stay that way. Randy Johnson, who you just saw, she's a member on that committee. So she's working hard for that. And I have the balance sheets and the 5-year plan available. If anybody wants to come and look at them, you're more than welcome to. There's going to be some bigger upcoming expenditures over the next year or so. We are starting a new website, a new ACA website, just so that it's a little easier to navigate, to bring programs up to date and make things move a little smoother and faster. They're also going to open up a page possibly to do some merchandising and things like that. So that's going to be coming in the near future. That's a pretty solid investment. So recent business, the board elections were recently held, and Diane Clark, you might have met her. She's been here a time or two. I believe she's from Tennessee too, right, Jake?
Yes.
Yeah, she's the new president. And then Jennifer Lewis is going to be the vice president. The BPMP committee has been restructured. Mark Johnson back there is head chair of that. And they're splitting it up into breed protection and Highland promotion. And Jenny Green back here, she's going to be the chair of the Highland promotion side of it. There's several different subcommittees on that. If anybody is interested, you can let me know and we can talk about that. The 2027 ACA National Gathering for North Central has been approved, so we're going to be hosting that. So I could really use a good committee to help with all that fun stuff. If you guys want to sign up for that, that'd be great. Some of the projects that were accomplished this year, we set up a breed standard, and you'll see that in the last issue of the bagpipe. And like I talked about the new website that's coming up. Bruce Schmitz, who's also a North Central member, he's in charge of that. The genomics committee was formed, and they're studying this NT821 gene as well as a couple of other things. Josh Krenz, the North Central member, is also in charge of that. So you can see North Central is very active on the national level, which I think is cool. All right. There's been a couple of ethics cases cleared, and yeah, we've updated the bylaws, so that should pretty much cover just about everything we did. And yeah, so I think that's about it. Does anybody have any questions or any input? If you have anything, feel free to just talk to me, because I'm always looking for good ideas. Yes, Maureen.
How many members do you need for your committee for the celebration?
Yes.
How many are you looking for?
Yes. However many I can get, honey. It's gonna be a lot of work. We're gonna have to talk about for sure where we're gonna have it and things like that. So, yeah. Okay. Anything else? All right. I'll turn the mic back over to Melinda.
Okay, so moving along the show committee, I'm the show manager. I think this is my 5th year maybe. And you saw the financial report regarding even this year. We beefed up our show committee this year. It's always kind of been me and a couple of other people, or like when Mark did, it was Mark and a couple of other people, but I had some life things changing and I needed more help, and so I'm excited to work with Greens are on the committee, Jesse Webb's on the committee. Who else? Randy's on the committee. There's a whole bunch of folks that have joined the committee, and we're working on some new things for next year. We will make some changes just because there were things that didn't really work. We thought we would do with the sale, and so we're just making those adjustments as we go. So I'm looking really forward to this year and all the really great things that we can have for the show. So World Beef Expo, Janet, do you want to say something? Okay, I'm sorry. Put you on the spot.
Okay, so World Beef Expo is a show that was run West Dallas, Wisconsin, which is held at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds in September. This year was September 18th through the 21st. There was overall in the entire show, there were 27 breeds represented. So not just Highlands, it's all sorts of different breeds, which I, again, find cool. Stalls and bedding and everything is provided. So it's just a matter of showing, and they have been working on improvements as far as security and parking. The judge this year was Justin Vehige. Do you guys know how to pronounce that? Vehige. It was a very small show because it was held in conjunction the same weekend as the North Central show. So what did I just read? There was 11 animals, so there was less than 20 head, which means we lost our ROE points status. So we got to get up to more than 20 head to get back as a Roll of Excellence point show. So because it was held the same weekend as the North Central show, I spent a lot of time in correspondence with the North Central or the World Beef Board, and I requested that we be the first show on the very first day so that everybody could show, pack up, and then drive up to North Central, because I think everybody in the World Beef Show was showing at North Central too. But so that meant a good long drive that same day, and which also meant that the Highlands missed the Supreme Drive, which was kind of a bummer because we had been doing very well in Supreme Drives almost all over the show circuit. So that's kind of sad. But anyway, the majority of the show was made up of the Mid-Lakes Highlands, Giddy and Todd. They wound up with Grand Champion Cow Calf. Storybrook Farm, Montana and Daniel Medina, they wound up with Grand Champion Heifer. If you haven't met them, you probably met them at the North Central show. Super nice people. And Joe Toth and Trafalgar Farm with the farm with the Grand Champion Bull. And that's pretty much it.
Get a response.
She's ignoring you. She said I should do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna stand in for Lauren, it sounds like, for the junior report. She was on the tail end of my sick, she caught it later, so she's home today sick. She says this past year's been one of growth and learning and collaboration. We continue with the growth of our junior program, not just in participants, but in active contributors to the preservation and promotion of the breed. It's an honor to see so many of our younger members engaged and enthusiastic, both in the ring and in other ways. For events, they had a very successful year as far as donations go, and people being just utterly generous to our juniors. They started a raffle this year. They raffled off a Yeti cooler when the proceeds were $350. And then auction, the silent auction at the show was another $1,380. So they're sitting really well for funds this year. Casey is the new committee chair. Casey Payne. She is a go-getter. I wish I had her energy and I could bottle it. She has made contacts with places like Sullivan and Weaver and area and has just brought in all this stuff for our Highland kids that in the past maybe we hadn't had access to. And so she's really encouraging kids to get involved and do more and promote the breed more. And so that's really exciting. They're continuing to focus on mentorship, which they're very good at. Lauren says, we just want to keep building that momentum and keep that junior program growing. I think they said they had 36 kids at the annual show this year, which is a huge turnout and it was very exciting. Anybody have any questions? No? The committee, Tony.
Tony, do you want to do it or do you want me to? Go ahead.
Please, yeah, Julianne's gonna do it.
Oh, okay. So Tony and I are the Hoofbeat Committee, and for any members who are looking for an opportunity to dip a toe in North Central activities, this is a very, very fun committee. We send out 4 newsletters a year. I think our first edition is hopefully going to hit mailboxes or email boxes in March. And yeah, I mean, it's just really fun. You know, if you have an idea for an article, we're always scratching around for ideas. You know, please contact one of us. It's really easy for me to do interviews over the phone. I can type up our speaking notes. You can approve the article. A shout out to Mark and Jamie Scholes for turning me on to the Iowa Beef Center and their treasure trove of articles. I did contact them and they said, by all means, you know, like use our resources. So anytime you have an idea, you know, please let us know. We are going to be sending out an electronic survey just to tailor content, just to get people's ideas about, you know, what you want to read about. There is going to be a very top quality prize for people that complete the survey. We will be doing an extremely high security drawing. So I encourage people to fill out the survey. So yeah, thanks for people that bought advertising to help support us, and encourage people to, if you want to try it electronically. We just have a lot more flexibility, you know, and we save on postage and printing costs. And I think about half of membership is getting the Hoofbeat electronically. Tony, anything I missed or anything to add?
No, I think you did a good job. I'm just gonna just say, as I look across this room, I know there is various experiences and knowledge. Please, you don't have to be an expert writer, but anything that you have learned or would love to share with other Highland owners, please contact the Hoofbeat Committee. Please join the committee. Julianne is a great editor, so whatever you type up and would like to share, I'm sure, I'm speaking for her, but I'm sure she'd be willing to help you work through an article. Content is key, right? So to have a good Hoofbeat, we need lots of good, robust content that can serve everyone, not just the show community or just the beef producers, but something that touches everyone. So please, I know I'm looking out there, you guys are smart and we need you, so.
Attaboy.
Thank you.
With feet and all the amazing things that they've added, and so we really appreciate it, Tony and Jillian. The production sale. Do you know if Josh is available?
Josh is online.
Josh is.
Hey, Josh.
Morning.
I can see your smiling face, so.
That's okay. But you guys can hear me okay?
Yep.
Sure can.
Okay, perfect. Well, everybody has the North Central Sale Committee up in front of you. It's on the screen there. I can see in front of you guys, and for the folks online, if you click on the box like I did, you can see it as well. So we did something new this year that we hadn't done for a while. We had 2 sales. The last time we had 2 sales was pre-COVID back in 2021. But this time we decided to split the sales up. We had a frozen sale in March. Thank you for everybody who participated. We couldn't do it without the 44 lots and all the consigners that were behind those lots to have that successful frozen sale last year. We're doing that again this year. It's on March 15th. So if you haven't put in your consignments yet for semen or embryos, those are due February 15th. And if you have any questions, I think Randy's in the room there, Jan's in the room there. They're both on the committee. Jeremiah, Julianne's on the phone here. Ginny's in the room there. She's on the committee, and Heather Bailey, that makes up the committee. So if you got any questions on that, that's the current sale committee. Of course, we welcome new members to sign up as well as you're entering your membership. The other thing that we did new this year was we had the live sale. We moved it from June to September, and that was change 1. And change 2 was we made it in person. It had been an online only sale for the last several years. We had 11 lots, sale average 9,300. Some good females sold on that. Had a great auctioneer, Chisholm from South Dakota. I thought he did a great job. Having a couple of the ring men on the side, I think really added to the sale as well. So a lot of people attended in person. Most of the bidding was online. All of the animals sold online except for 1. So just shows there's still a lot of demand for Highlands, especially outside of the North Central region, which makes it a perfect opportunity for folks who want to get their name out there, to consign an animal, to have that animal placed. But the biggest part is the marketing that you get out of having the sale, and having other farms outside of our region see your farm. So that's it for production sale as far as the 2 that we had this last year. And then we've got a new idea. It's an idea, but we put it in writing there, so we're working on it. We are looking at hosting our first bull test sale in 2026. So details on that to come, but it would look similar to what other breeds do for bull test sales, where we would take a contemporary group of bulls, take them to a place where they can be fed, do efficiency scores on them, do average weight gains, do some ultrasounds on them, and so forth, and try to add some data to bulls, young bulls, as people are looking to buy those in the future. So we have aspirations to do that in 2026. We're just working on the details right now. Any questions for the sale committee?
I see none.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
The Digital Marketing Committee is really an active committee. I'd like to acknowledge the members. In addition to myself, we have Paul Hartwick, who's here, Josh Krenz, who's on the phone, Tony Letourneau, Maureen Mott, Becky Meyer, Julie and Ken Shar, who are here, Bruce Schmitz, and Jamie Schultz. This year we had some big changes. First one was changing the name of the committee. We used to be called the Website Committee, and that didn't really cover what we did, because we maintain the website, but we also, with Maureen leading it, do a lot on social media, the Facebook page and group. She manages those and gets a lot of the word out. And we also do all the communication through email and setting up some shared work for all of us. So that really felt like website didn't cover it. So the board approved our changing the name. So now we are Digital Marketing. As far as the website, we continue to see increased traffic that seems to be driven by our classified ads. You're all getting those emails, the classified ads. That's just kind of exploded in the last few years. I think we had over 90 just last year classified ads. That's free to members. If you have something that you want to put out there to sell that's farm related, you just send that in. Facebook continues to expand. Maureen is on top of that, but we continue to get more and more followers. We have some big changes coming up on the website. As we've grown in membership, it's become kind of unwieldy to maintain the structure we have right now. And I'm wondering if Tony, you can bring up that map.
Oh, yes.
We're talking about changing from having every farm have its own page and state pages, to going to a member map. And I have a sample of it if Tony brings it up. On that map, you'll be able to find a farm. It will give you the farm name, the city and state, phone number, email, and if they've provided us with a website or social media pages, and whether or not they are a beef producer. And that will replace having all those separate pages, so it'll be much easier for me as the person doing the website. That's gonna be the old one.
Oh.
Not the new one.
Okay.
It's in Drive.
In Drive. Sorry, I don't have it.
Okay. Well, anyway, well, you can click on one of these and it shows you what's currently there. Tony, why don't you do that? Just click on any farm.
Oops.
So when you go to the website, it will have member farms. If we click on one you see on the side, it will show you the information. That will be expanded to have your email, your, if you have a website, and all those other things will all be in that one place. So that's how we'll represent members. We're not going to put street addresses. We have had street addresses on the website up until now, but it seems like that's become a bigger privacy issue. So if you have your own website and have a street address, that's fine, but we will just publish your city and state. So that's something that will make managing the website much easier for me, but also hopefully will be easier for people to find rather than looking at a list and trying to figure out where is that town, just looking at it on the map. So look for that change in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to do that as I post out all the new members. So any questions? Thanks.
Under committee is Maureen.
The calendar committee chair, along with my helpers, Randy Johnson, Mary Webster, Jan Larson, and Julianne. I can officially say we sold all 150 calendars this year. I was notified, I think, yesterday or the day before. We had a total of 118 photo submissions from 33 member farms this year. Again, we limited those photo submissions to 4 per farm to try and help us better organize it, because otherwise it was kind of overwhelming. The vote response was from 35 member farms, which was down a bit. So we love getting your farm photos, but also remember to come back and vote later. I think it's in April. We had an unexpected printing challenge this year when we found out our printer had closed. So some scrambling and some last minute help from Mr. Letourneau in formatting our calendar. We did get it printed in time for the show in Austin. And like I was able to share, all of those 150 calendars have been sold. Okay. Let's see here. We found out that TJ and Associates, thanks to their North Central connection, had been very generous with their printing expenses. That was a big kind of eye-opener / shocker for us. So the cost of the calendar is most likely going to increase next year. But we are not going, or we're not willing to, as a committee, to compromise that quality of the calendar. So our new printer has offered to work with us. She also prints the show catalog, right?
And the hoofbeat.
And the hoofbeat, okay. So we're gonna talk about some different things we can do to keep that cost of the calendar less. And the committee, I'm also going to task us with trying to look at different kinds of postage and packaging materials to help keep the cost down as well. So that's just something we're working on for the future, this 2026 calendar. And I think Randy has got the website for photo submissions open. So we are officially accepting photos for the 2026 calendar. And those are going to be due on March 15th. So same day as the sale. Does anybody have questions? Yes.
Yeah. All right, just a different perspective maybe on this. I know when we started the calendar escapade or our situation, it was to raise money. So have we gotten beyond that? We're pretty healthy from a balance sheet standpoint. Is this more of a promotion of our association rather than a money-making venture? So something to think about.
So we have actually discussed that. I think the calendar was actually created to help fund the North Central ACA rep. So thankfully, we have been very successful in other avenues that the calendar is now more of a marketing and networking tool, and it has worked. I have gotten that from several people who have sold the calendar and been advertised, and they've had people contact them for beef or just liking the fireplace. So it's definitely not, we're not necessarily making a profit, but we are trying to break even. So, and the goal next year is definitely 200 calendars. I know we can do it, so. So I'm gonna say one thing about the membership committee. I had volunteered to be the chair and life happens and nothing really happened. So as just a active member of North Central, I'd like to say that we're looking for a membership committee chair. I'm willing to help out. And I'd really like to focus or have that committee focus on giving back to our membership. Whether that's organizing summer picnics or organizing educational seminars that we can hold virtually or specific topics, or just other things that we can do for our members, because we are a very strong association and I don't want to see that go away. We would be nowhere without our members. So we definitely need to get back to a membership committee. Okay.
This year, the Farm Technology Days was held in Chippewa County. There was approximately 30,000 people that went through the first Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday was kind of a rain day in the morning. It did clear off in the afternoon. It was a pretty good turnout overall. In 25 this year, it will be held August 5th through the 9th at Clinton Farms. They've held it once or twice in the past. So this is on a dairy farm setup, and it is 825 head animal operation that they're doing. They do field demos. There will be live cattle demonstration work through a chute and section of beef tent also. So I guess one other question I have is that if anybody has any interest with helping with the North Central aspect of it, with the animals and such, that would be greatly appreciated, even if it's just a few hours of your time. In years past, there's been multiple people that have helped or stopped by. Gene and Rich Gruner usually helps. Cindy Weidman also does. Ann and John usually poke their head in the tent for a little bit, along with many other people that have made their rounds through. I know tabletop acres have been through a few times in previous years. So
But I also have some additional tasks that I have to take care of during Farm Technology Days, so that's where the additional help request is asked for. Questions?
Who we got?
There's been some talk and it's kind of in the preliminary, just that's how we use that out there. That's a lot of things out there. And you can do that. We can talk about it.
What county is it in this year?
It's actually by what packets and put it up.
Did you?
I'm not sure where that is.
What county? So Alpaca County?
I Googled.
Waupaca. The answer is an hour east of Stevens Point.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
You hear me talk about the same thing every year, but we have been pretty status quo as far as state fair goes. It's a 12-day event. Jamie and I are there in some form or another over 13 days. We get in the day before the state fair starts. There's approximately 1.9 million people that attend the state fair. So even if you figure we see 0.5% of those go through the barn, that's still a lot of people over 12 days. We have a lot of help during that time. I think this year we had at least 1 or 2 volunteers every day of the fair. That helps Jamie and I out a ton. So appreciate everybody that comes down, and don't be afraid to come down and do it, because most of the people that ask the questions wouldn't know if we gave them the wrong answer. And it's always fun to hear the questions that you get. And you build over the last 12 years, I guess we've been in the Moo booth. We've been at the state fair since the early 80s, but we've been in the Moo booth area for the last 12 years, and we get quite a following there, and you get people that come back every year. And I actually recognize people, as many people go through there, you recognize them. And so it's a fun time. We educate a lot of people. Just so everybody understands kind of how it works. The state fair has 4 different encampments. So every 4 days they clean out the barn. And so we go home, change out pairs, and bring them back. So we have a fresh pair every 4 days of the fair. Last year, weather was nice. Usually that means people are in a better mood and things go a lot smoother. But we actually camp right on the ground. The manager of the Moo booth says we have a place there until we don't want to do it anymore. So, and that's a tribute to everybody that comes and educates people. She has to have less staff in her area because we kind of take care of a lot of things for her. So, and in return, she provides a lot of promotion for us. We take a fair across the fairgrounds, a couple different places during the fair, and do interviews and things like that. So a fun time if you want to join in. And usually what we do is you have free admission. If you work 4 hours in the booth, then you get the rest of the day to kind of take in the fair if you want. So, any questions?
Hello, Mark. Larry here.
Yeah.
More to say about that state fair. It's so much fun. I can stay there for from the time the bus drops me off till I gotta head home and so forth. It's talking with the people is such a animal agriculture and so forth. Everybody says, well, do they lose their horns? Well, when you got to point to the chart that says antlers and horns and so forth, and then you point to the dairy cattle and say, 98% of them were born with horns and so forth, and they had to be dehorned. It's so fun to educate the people there, and I have a lot of classmates that are in the area there, so that makes it a whole another day and stuff talking. So
Yeah. So when we
come and join us.
Have educational material. They get their manuscript before if they can't get one of them. A good time.
Okay, so moving on to old business, do we have any? Okay. Continue business, the adoption. Sandy, do you have one? Resolutions for the election, or you will have a.
I second it.
Only second. That was so, is it fast? President by acclamation. Congratulations, young president. Okay, and then nomination for vice president. And now second. Okay. And then this one is second. And by acclamation, is that how you say it, Randy? Is there anything coming across?
I'm seeing anything. Oh, I got one chat. They're just saying it was hard to hear you.
Sorry, I was trying to speak up. Okay, so we have the first and the second. Moving vice president, excuse me, Michelle, vice president for acclamation. Did I say it right, Randy? Okay, all right. And then we have 2 or 3 positions to fill.
3.
And I don't know if you saw the little
I'm just going to step in here quickly, just because we're trying to do this both virtual and physical.
Yep.
So when we have the director position open, there will be votes for those of you on I was going to say Skype, on Zoom. You'll have a pop-up screen for the nominated candidates for director. You will be picking 3 unless we take other nominations from the floor, right?
Right, we can take more nominations from the floor if there's anyone that would like to nominate someone else.
So I was a director and I've had one year done already. So the board had agreed that if coming up for me be nominated, the person with the most votes will get a 2-year term. Third person with the third amount of votes will get the 1-year term to finish out my term. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to those online?
Yes, and so we do have a question here online. Bruce is asking if they're able to vote online. Yes. So on your Zoom screen, as soon as we begin the voting process, I will open up a window that on your screen you'll be able to click the candidates. And as we tally the scores, we will pick for those 2 with the most votes will get the 2-year seat. The next person with the next highest score will get the 1 year.
And it's 1 vote per farm.
Yes, 1 vote per farm. And it is set up for anonymous voting, so.
So before we continue, are there any other nominations? And then the current nominations were Maureen and Michelle, but they've already been, Todd Green, Jeremiah. Yep, Todd is here. Jeremiah
Jeremiah is here.
Ben Schmidtke, who is online, Bruce Schmitz, who's also online, and then Jessie Webb. She's from down by us, southern Minnesota.
So.
Yes.
You can read if you want them ranked.
And so I will open the voting now online. So give me a second when I get back to my desk. I will get it open. Can everyone online see it?
Yes.
Just flag me down and I'll come and collect yours when we got it on this side.
All your.
You bet.
Keep things moving a little.
Ask Melinda if I could talk a little bit about the Highland Cattle Foundation, since that's something that not a lot of people know about. It's an organization that is separate from the American Highland Cattle Association. It's a 501c3 nonprofit, and it was set up in 2002 as that to allow people to donate to the foundation for the purposes of the 4 goals of the foundation. They are providing scholarships to junior ACA members, and I think we've had a fair number of North Central juniors that have taken advantage of that, and kudos to them for furthering their education. Doesn't have to be in agriculture, and we know that you know that stuff comes back around in spades, and so our speaker today is probably one of those, you know, didn't receive a scholarship, but was a junior member that.
I received it once.
Did you? Okay. So, you know, what comes around goes around. So the other thing is preserving Highland genetics. We provide semen to the National Animal Germplasm Program, and making semen and embryos available for purchase. We get semen embryos donated to the foundation, which we turn around and sell at the different sales in hopes of raising money for research. We do accept research proposals, and then we determine from those proposals whether we fund them through the funds of the Highland Cattle Foundation. The biggest one we ever did, and that's been a number of years ago, was the beef research done through University of Missouri, the beef tenderness. And I think that's our 4. And also the other thing is we support educational projects. So the last time we updated the Reader's Guide for ACA, we funded some of that. So the current members of that board are Mark Schultz, Bill Roberts, Wally Condon, Cindy Wiedemann, and Gina Moses. And so we are, every 3 years, we get approved by the ACA board to be the members of that Highland Cattle Foundation. So any questions about that? Okay, thanks.
Mark. So for results for the vote, our two-year directors are Jeremiah Muse and Jessie Webb, and our 1-year member is Todd Green. If you're a new board member,
Once we're adjourned, I'd like to meet around the podium.
I forgot that if you're a new board member, she wants to meet up here after the meeting. Anything else? Okay, then I'm gonna move to adjourn the meeting
I second.
in 20 seconds. That's okay. I won't move in 20 seconds. Okay. All right, thank you all.